So good morning, everyone, and thank you for being with us this morning. We're here today to talk about opportunity and how we can make our state more prosperous for every person and their family. Connecticut is dead last in the nation in job growth and income growth. Young people in Connecticut are graduating to unemployment of nearly 100,000 people, one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation. Generational poverty is a pervasive problem, especially in our cities. Income growth is not keeping up with the cost of living. We are facing a healthcare workforce shortage. Opportunity is out of reach for far too many, and a lack of opportunity is tied to struggles throughout all aspects of life. Yet during this time, many lawmakers here in Hartford under this dome are not laser focused on creating opportunity and jobs. Last week, the Connecticut Business and Industry Association pointed to what they described as a job-killing agenda before the Labor Committee. Quote, "This is the exact opposite of what Connecticut's struggling small businesses need to recover from the pandemic," said CBI President and CEO Chris DiPentima. Quote, "Lawmakers should be making it easier, not more difficult, to create jobs and keep companies here. It's one thing to talk about helping businesses in our economy, and it's disheartening when actions don't mirror the rhetoric." Connecticut Senate Republicans are here today to call for action, to offer ideas to grow opportunity, to support young people, to develop a future workforce, to give every person in our state the opportunity to achieve prosperity and support themselves and their families. Connecticut lags significantly behind the rest of the nation when it comes to our economic recovery through this pandemic. Patrick O'Brien, author of Connecticut Voices for Children's State of Working Connecticut report, has estimated that it will take 23 months to close its job shortfall as a result of the pandemic, whereas the rest of the nation will only take 9 months to recover. Connecticut is also experiencing a K-shaped recovery, and people at the lower end aren't experiencing what those at the top are. Fred Carstensen, a UConn economist, has said Connecticut has, quote, "worst performing economy of all 50 states, dead last." That's right. Our economy, from a UConn professor, states our economy is dead last. This problem isn't new for Connecticut, but it is magnified. For the last decade, Connecticut Democrats' policies controlled our state and created the environment we are in today. Democrats have failed to create the quality jobs people need to build a ladder out of poverty. Their policies made Connecticut more unaffordable. A problem worsened because income growth has not kept up with our state's absurdly high costs on everything, from taxes to energy to housing to health care. The solution is not more of the same. It is not more government. Sure. It's teamwork, actually. It's not, where was I? It's not more government and more taxes. That Democratic strategy has only made the rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and hindered the growth of opportunity and jobs that we need to help people up and out of poverty. There is a better way. We must create an environment where all jobs in our state and all jobs in all parts of our state can grow and thrive, where employers can afford to support good-paying jobs, and where all young people have opportunity to access those good-paying jobs. Today, we are sharing our idea and our pathway forward. Our proposals include, number one, a pipeline to work that connects job creators with local schools to help our kids prepare for the workforce of the future. 2, workforce development path to career that supports students seeking certifications. 3, a healthcare academy workforce training program available to Connecticut high school students. 4, a return to job fairs. 5, vocational program recruitment. 6, a task force to study occupational licenses. 7, providing career opportunities for veterans. 8, a Buy Connecticut to Build Connecticut program to support job growth in our successful and world-class defense industry. And 9, a proposal to grow jobs in our state's flagship insurance industry. So with that, I would like to introduce Senator Paul Ciccarella. Senator.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. And I'm excited to be here today and be a part of the team working on this workforce development program. I'm very passionate about workforce development for a few reasons. One, my unique life experiences that brought me to where I am today, but more importantly, the work I do with the Joe Bate Charitable Foundation. Joe Bate was one of my closest friends who passed away about 1.5 years ago from a heart defect that he had from birth. And his wife, Megan, started a charity in his name that focuses on 2 things. One, families that are going through similar issues that Joe did at birth and supporting them. And second is Ignite Talent. Ignite Talent is a program that allows students that realize they don't want to go to college, and it helps them identify the things they're interested in and have the school partner up with local businesses so those students could have micro internships to actually see what it's like to be working in those positions. Joe always said if he knew now what he knew as a student, he would have done things a lot differently. And that's important, why we reach our students at an early age and let them know that there is more successful career pathways that may not involve 4-year degrees. One part of our proposal is the Pipeline for Connecticut's Future. This program is modeled after the success from schools like Wallingford and Platt Tech that partner with local jobs and providers that could train the students with the unique skills to come out of school and work right in those jobs. And they're great paying jobs, manufacturing jobs that start at $70,000 a year coming out of high school. And it's important that the students could realize that. I've been working on the Pipeline program for a while, which Sal Menzo brought to Wallingford. And I've been talking to numerous Board of Educations and superintendents across the state, as well as in my district specifically. And when talking to them, they understand and like the idea of workforce development and how it will be beneficial for their students that may not want to go to college. But there's always the same dilemmas. There's challenging with funding. There's challenging of room for all the equipment needed to create these real work experiences for the students, space to put these big pieces of equipment, more importantly, certified teachers that have real world experience and licenses, whether it's in manufacturing, plumbing, electrical, and those are the challenges that are at hand. And it's amazing to see from Wallingford has a great program to the other towns that are right next to me, like East Haven, who is implementing something this year for workforce development, the challenges that they have and how different they are. And I just think that they need to communicate a little bit more, and I'm hoping that our proposal could help this. We would require the State Department of Education to partner with stakeholders to develop better practices for our local high schools to create pathways for occupational licenses or internship programs or real work experience in jobs that are right in their own backyard that could create successful careers for these students and also help these small businesses that need this workforce. We also need the State Department of Education to examine the laws and identify the changes that are required to bring success to these programs, like school attendance requirements, counting apprenticeship hours as school hours, clarifying use of Perkins funds, specifically for transportation to and from these type of internships or work experience programs. We also need to open up trade schools to participate into the needs-based Roberta Wilson Scholarship Program. Key elements for success of this program are concentrating on the trades, manufacturing, healthcare positions that do not require four-year degrees. Most importantly, financial literacy, understanding the value of a dollar. You'll be surprised how many students don't understand what they really have to pay for. I had an interesting conversation with a superintendent, I believe it was in Wallingford, and they do a career day, and they allow the students to go around and buy their groceries, pay their bills, and students didn't even realize they had to pay for a cell phone. They need to understand the value of a dollar and financial literacy, and that is very important to the success of these programs. We need to reestablish those high school job fairs, and we also need to partner with nonprofits like Hubcap in Wallingford or the Joe Bate Charitable Foundation to help bridge those gaps and bring those businesses to the schools so there are opportunities for these internships. And we need to also really get rid of the stigma that everybody has to go to college. You know, in today's world, a bachelor's degree is not a guarantee to a job. Matter of fact, almost 50% of graduates who have a bachelor's degree work in a profession that don't even require their college degree. Instead, we really need to focus on opportunities that are right in front of our students, and we could put them to work with successful career paths, making very good money and helping Connecticut's economy. We want to allow students to realize that they don't have to go to college, they don't have to incur all of that debt, and this is going to help fulfill, again, the shortages that we have in Connecticut jobs here today. We also need to focus on our veterans. Our veterans' workforce development is something that needs to be addressed. Many veterans come home from service and have a hard time finding work. And in their service, they have unique work experience, whether it's mechanic, healthcare, or a trade. And we need to find a way to streamline bringing their work experience when in service to apply towards some apprenticeship hours or the time needed to sit for certain licenses here in Connecticut. And I think that this plan will address these situations and help Connecticut get back to work. At this time, I'll turn it over to Senator Kelly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Ciccarelli. And I also want to let everyone know that we have State Senator John Kissel with us this morning. There are a couple other areas. First, the Healthcare Academy. Connecticut is facing a shortage of healthcare workers, an issue exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. Healthcare workers are facing burnout, and shortages across the nation are straining the entire workforce system here. We must work to support healthcare workforce growth to meet the needs for Connecticut's residents. This proposal would require the State Department of Education, Department of Public Health, Department of Labor to work with the Connecticut Hospital Association to develop curriculum for high school students in what we would call a Healthcare Academy program to include training and certification upon graduation from high school for graduates to work in high-demand healthcare occupations. The program would be open to any high school to participate to train current students to fill these jobs in demand. Students would complete necessary in-person training at local hospitals and obtain certification upon completion of the program, graduation, and residency at a local hospital. This program will give high school students the training and certification to obtain good-paying jobs in healthcare upon graduation. It will also help ease the healthcare worker shortage by increasing the number of individuals trained and certified in these high-demand healthcare jobs. We're also looking at apprenticeship and entrepreneurship. We also must focus on removing barriers to these areas and to create more and focus on jobs. That includes removing impediments and enhancing targeted incentives. We are proposing, number one, a task force to study occupational licenses to ensure that our licensure system does not become a barrier to employment and starting a business or in creating jobs. Two, an apprenticeship support, including examining expanding apprenticeship industries. Three, expanding the apprenticeship tax credit to businesses that hire any registered apprentice who completes an apprenticeship program, not just those who complete a four-year program in construction or qualified manufacturing programs with periods of 4,000 or 8,000 hours. This would open up tax credits to 7 more trades whose apprenticeship programs are only 2,000 hours, such as auto glass technician, barber, oil burner servicer, sewer storm and water line installer, energy efficient technician, lawn sprinkler and maintainer, and gasoline tank installer and repairer. We also need to look at what Connecticut does well. If we're going to grow jobs, I think we can grow jobs in our own backyard by starting with what we are well known for. And we have 2 specific industries where we are world class. First, defense. Our Buy Connecticut to Build Connecticut is a program we have proposed to begin to harness the success of our world-class defense industry to spread that growth throughout our state. Specifically, we must encourage the defense industry to work with in-state suppliers whenever possible to grow Connecticut jobs. The Buy Connecticut to Build Connecticut program will incentivize defense contractors to create and support jobs. It will establish a program to provide incentives to defense contractors and subcontractors that are headquartered in our state and make long-term commitments to maintain and grow jobs here. It also provides sales tax exemptions and tax credits to defense contractors that work with in-state supply line manufacturers instead of buying parts and products from out-of-state companies. Next, we need to look at our insurance industry. And rather than go into competition like the majority wants to with our insurance industry, we need to grow this industry. We are the insurance capital of the world. We'd like to stay that way. So we propose developments in job growth in that industry and to grow that footprint here rather than somewhere else. The industry currently employs nearly 50,000 jobs in the state of Connecticut. We should be working with the insurance department to explore areas of growth like InsurTech, captive insurance, cybersecurity, and data protection, and ensure policies are not threatening jobs, but actually growing jobs in our flagship industry. Just to close, finally, we must support jobs, and we must also encourage our schools and children at an early age. We must reach students early to help them develop the skills and focus on how education at all levels leads to employment. It's about empowering our kids to take charge of their future and give them the tools they need to succeed. Over the last few months, Connecticut Senate Republicans have shared with Connecticut our vision for a better state. We know that there is a better way to make Connecticut more affordable, more accountable, safer, healthier, and a place where everyone has an opportunity to achieve and prosper. As I've said before, good ideas always find friends, and we will continue to advocate for partners and, more importantly, for action. questions?